All right, welcome to the Sushi Forum episode 15, where we discuss this week's proposals, news, developments, and everything to do with the Sushi Swap ecosystem. Uh, this week, I am happy to announce I have a new co-host, Orion Muir, formerly known as a name that will not be spoken. Welcome to the Sushi Forum, Orion.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here. Thank you for
Do
providing
you,
this forum for us.
yeah, no problem. Do you want to give just a very brief background about like sort of your crypto origins, I guess?
Yeah, I started in crypto. I'm a professional poker player, and that I'm a United States president, and our government banned online poker, or at least providing online poker, and crypto was the way that various poker sites revolutionized how they were able to still provide service for us. Instead of having to wire money to the Philippines, we were able to just click and get things transferred in a matter of minutes. So that pulled me in, I would say probably around like 2013, maybe 2012, and wasn't a huge investor. And then I just saw DeFi. First COVID happened, so I was forced to move back to online from live poker. And then I just got more into crypto and saw DeFi, was blown away by both the ethos and just what the gains that is able to make. I got in a little late, but it's still just transformed how I've been able to function financially. So very grateful to it. And yeah, now I'm just trying to get involved in the ecosystem. I think I've probably been on maybe 5 or 6 community calls in the past for Sushi Swap, and excited to get more and more integrated. It's there's so much room for growth and for ideas to come out there and to like have the direct connections to devs, to um, marketing, and to all this stuff. It's just so cool to like that the concept of free access to everyone like even applies to the platforms that are here, which I just find inspiring.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, absolutely. That's the sort of decentralized community aspect to Sushi Swap is sort of really what drew me in. I think it's reading some write up about the development styles developed in like the 80s, like the contrast between centralized, I always called like Citadel style development versus Bazaar style development. Citadel is very centralized. You have a vision, you develop it in private, and then you release it. Bazaar is open source, public code. Everybody's contributing, trying to push it, the open source project to where the vision is ultimately leading. And yeah, it's definitely a big aspect for Sushi Swap. Um, so I'm going to move on to the Sushinomics section briefly. The price is up to 760, 765 right now. Been a little bit, some would say volatile over the past 7 days, up 10% though. And 24-hour trading volume, the average of the past 7 days has been 396 million, which is improvement over the past week. Moving on to news and developments, we had an update to the onsen weights. Um, Actually, Kino, do you have any knowledge about the onsen weight update? I didn't see any like link to what pools were updated or what weights exactly were changed. Are you aware?
Um, if you look at the time lock, you would get the absolute numbers, but I can check back in to you to maybe get it in a nicer format.
Gotcha. Yeah. If that'd be great. So at some point in the future, something like that.
We
Yeah,
used
thank you.
to be able to look at it through that zippo.sushi, but that's being deprecated now, so it's no longer available. It'd be cool to, yeah, be able to see the weights and stuff.
Yeah, I had forgotten about the time lock browser, to be honest. But moving on, we had we have some mock-ups of the Sushi Forum, or not the Sushi Forum, the Sushi Swap forums, a mock-up for a new design, basically changing the color scheme around to the new art direction with the dark colors. It looked really awesome. You can see that on forum.sushiswapclassic. And then we had Mithril Cache and Basis Cache launch onsen pools, both huge volume drivers for Sushi Swap. It's very exciting. Have you messed around with Mithril Cache or Basis Cache or any of the empty set dollar forks and everything, Orion?
I did the original staking for the Mithril Cache launch. Like, I didn't do any of the actual aggressive yield farming of it. I I have so much trouble like have not like having money in stables and stuff. Just being bullish, it makes it hard to like, oh, I want to tie up this money trying to get these yields with expensive gas prices and stuff. I'd have to
That's what
like
Maker
make it.
DAO is for, my friend. You put the
Yeah.
Ethereum and the Bitcoin in there. You take the DAI out. You trade it for all the degen coins. You
Well,
avoid
I
Vitalik.
definitely agree with that set. I like had this. It felt brilliant last night. So like I farm. I'm messing around a little bit on Binance Smart Chain, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be holding BNB because it's like a stable coin basically. And I like realized, oh well, I can loan on Venus and then get the BNB to farm Pancake. And I had this idea that like, oh well, Sushi is going to have both a lending platform and an exchange in the same place. It'd be really cool if we can, if there's like I can take my, for instance, I want to farm ETH and shit. Sorry, that's not, we'll use a different example, ETH and Spank. But I don't want to hold Spank. I can provide ETH to borrow Spank, and that like in one click, I'm envisioning being able to provide your collateral on the bento pair to get the Spank, and then provide liquidity all in one click. And I like didn't know where to like throw this idea out. It's pretty complex. I don't even know if I like portrayed it right, but I threw it in the engineering thing late last night. I was like washing the dishes and had this idea, and I was like, oh, let's just put it
Gotcha.
out there.
Wouldn't you still have the exposure to the Spank though?
No, because I'm holding it, but I'm borrowing it, so they cancel out each other. Because I'm gonna have to pay that back. So it's, I mean, unless I unless I'm conceptualizing it wrong. Because if you hold something and you owe something, it's the same as not owning it, right? So I'm holding 6 Spank, but I have to pay back 6 Spank. So as long as that 6 Spank doesn't appreciate from impermanent loss, I would still,
Oh, right.
they
I
would
guess if
counteract each other.
you, yeah, if you're bearish on it, then
Yeah, and I mean,
you're
who's bullish on Spank? I'm kidding. I don't even know what Spank is. I just saw it on the top yields for Sushi Swap box.
amazing. um, but yeah, definitely awesome to get these new pools on the onsen. Moving on, we got the Sushi Swap UI update, which is pretty massive. I'm a big fan of it. And it does bring the news that Sushi Swap Classic and Sushi Swap Lite will in function be deprecated and be stopped developed for, which is a little bit sad to me because I really liked the Lite UI. But I also really like the new Sushi Swap UIs.
Could you flesh out what you really liked about the light UI?
Well, when part of it, I don't know if it's like a lightness in the assets itself or if Firefox is just trash, but A, it loads faster. And B, when I just want to just swap something, it just feels. I saw somebody else say this on Twitter, like it's sort of like wizardy. It just feels like a lot faster in some way to get to the swap function for the token that I want to get to. I don't know. That might just be psychological, just in the fact that it's like less things on the screen at the time, and just pushing a few buttons. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think that like clear-cut functionality is part of what like made Uniswap so user-friendly in the first place. There's just that one box. There's not many things to click. It's very underwhelming, but it's front and center at least.
Yeah, yeah, and there was also comments on Twitter about some critique, I guess, from oh man, I don't know if that went through, but some critique from some crypto
Hasu,
people. Yeah, from Hasu, um, basically talking about how the UI could be less cluttered and could encourage swapping essentially more if it had the swapping function center screen with stats and analytics related to the swap of the pair right there. Which I think, some of it I think is personal preference, but that's also my opinion. Like, I could be wrong on that. Um, and I know that there's a pro trader UI which has stats and stuff like that embedded right next to the pair. But that's also a much less clean UI than the new SushiSwap.fi. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely still a work in progress. There's openness on Twitter from Omakase Bar and other devs towards the suggestions people are putting forward, and that's sort of like all in the spirit of Sushi Swap. It's a decentralized project. We're trying to build it for the community, not the other way around.
I think that is also a general approach to iterating quickly and getting feedback and hopefully pushing out a better, newer version quickly.
Yeah. Fast
it
development
is
times.
mind-boggling how quickly Sushi pumps out all these things. And I mean, I think part of that is kind of this model that we're working with.
Makes a lot of sense to use the openness of like feedback and criticism on Twitter to guide the development process and UI design.
I mean, I think that there's the new in Sushi Swap tab that we have in this, and there's so many new amazing things happening in Sushi Swap, and what they included was like, why is this? There's like so many beautiful things that they could like link to your Medium pages, like directly to the most recent Medium post or something to like get people to know more about the protocol or talk about like an upcoming feature, not the like talk about the cover exploit. That seems very not what we want to be highlighting.
Yeah. There's definitely there's like positives and minuses there. Like part of it is like, if part of it is like informing users about the cover, like, letting them know um, not to deposit into the pool and stuff like that at the time. But yeah, now that a little bit of time has gone by, that seems a little bit less pressing. I would agree, but um, moving on, the last bit of news, we had a tweet from Future Fund, which I wrote is notoriously one of the loudest VC groups with investments in Sushi Swap. Not that I don't like them, I love their tweets. They just They love tweeting about sushi. Tweeting about the IM token wallet integration, and they said, "quote For those that don't know, at IM token official, they are one of the largest wallet providers in China. At Sushi Swap integration will harness 10 million plus users, 80 billion plus cryptocurrency exchange, 200 plus countries supported." Sounds pretty exciting. I've never used IM token, but apparently it's a very popular wallet in China and I guess Asian countries, probably Europe as well. Tends to be that type of divide between Europe and Asian services and then North American services.
I find
And
it kind of funny that
yeah.
Marin, their second post, is retweeting one of Marin's astrology stuff.
Oh yeah, that astrology chick. Yeah.
Sure, she's gonna be an influencer for sushi. I don't know. Maki and Joseph have been retweeting her and have been creating dialogue. She's getting a follower. We need influencers. We'll get her in
Yeah.
a sushi outfit, and
Yeah, we definitely
the moon
need
is next.
definitely influencers are good. Bento box would be better. But
Yes.
moving on to noteworthy proposals, in no particular order, there's a bunch of team proposals that came out. Just to be frank, I honestly thought all the members that made proposals recently were already in some capacity hired or contracted for Sushi Swap, and were essentially part of the team. So, maybe this is official, but it feels more like a formality to me. I'll definitely be voting yes for all of these people, but just to go through the list, Chester LaCroix, I just wrote down some silly titles: marketing design and UI chef; Pedro, a community chef; Castry, visual designer um, slash illustrator, illuminaire; Maya, operations and marketing chef. And all these people have definitely been committed and been working, keeping their heads down for Sushi Swap and trying to help build it up. Maya, did you want to talk a little bit about your proposal, and sort of maybe a bit of explanation as to why all these proposals came out all of a sudden? Because I sort of thought you guys were all hired, to be honest.
Yeah, good question. First, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, good. That's a good question. Why suddenly several? So actually, that we how to say we're working for sushi for a while, more like a part time, and then so you are right. Then we work closely with the core team, and then now then there has been a proposal hiring guidelines discussed, and then teams like encourage some of us who has been working part time and then to join officially to the core team. So that's why like Chester, Castry, Pedro, and myself, and we talk with the team, and then so we submit the proposal. And then I have been working with Chester, Castry, and Pedro for a while, and then they're all very awesome team members and who design, and also Pedro did a lot of good work on the community management and all of those. So I myself like support all of them. For my situation, my own proposal a little bit different from the other three is like the part-time part. So due to my visa status, so I really wish to join sushi full-time. And then, but due to my visa status at this moment, so then I will be joining like a part-time. So that's why then the proposal like for me, and then maybe a little bit different from the other three full-time. But we will like continue do what we have been doing for sushi, but also add more responsibilities. For my own proposal, that probably community already know that I have been managing the PR marketing, and now I want to add more responsibilities or involved in more operations, and also the BD work. So that's one side is because I talked with Mackie, and Mackie told me that he needs some like help for the BD and some of the operational work because then he's super busy and he is manage all the strategic. So we would like to like to focus on those big plans, and then we help a little bit on the like a task, detailed task. So that's one thing. Then I would like to help him, and also myself also interested in the original work, especially to set up standard process. So I have some work experience in process establishment and all of those. So I would like to also use those skills and then to help with sushi. And regarding the operations and because we're talking about a proposal, so one of the tasks that I want to do is the community submitted a lot of very good proposals, but we need some person to devote some time and then to review all of them, for example, every week, bi-weekly, and then prioritize the proposal and draw core team's attention on some critical proposal. So everyone on the team is super busy now. So, but we don't want to ignore community's voice on the proposal. So I would like to help to build a standard process on proposal submission, review, approve, this kind of process. And myself also would like to spend some time to review the proposal details. And that's probably also related to the marketing job because the proposal from community, they probably talk about how to make how to enhance the UI or how to attract more users and all of those. That is the same target as marketing. So I am thinking try to connect these two tasks together. So yeah, so that's some highlights from my proposal, and thanks all of you and then who would like to support me and to vote on the proposal. Thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for giving that explanation. And I was just curious, sort of, because I definitely have noticed since you and Chester made that marketing proposal way back when, and you
Yeah.
guys sort of joined the team. I have definitely noticed an uptick in interest from Asian users and Asian community members. Sort of what sort of things have you been doing, and what have you been up to, and sort of what you planned for the future in terms of that front?
Yeah, that's a good question. Chester and I talk a little bit on that. We really want to continue to execute and the proposal, the marketing proposal. So we had did some experiments in China marketing, and as what you said, some of them like worked. So we want to expand that to do the same plan in the global marketing, so including US, Europe, and some other Asian countries. And that's one thing. And second thing is what I put on my proposal is also I would like to start to talk with some third-party PR agencies and who is professional in this area, and then we probably can apply for some budget and then to hire them to expedite the PR part for the global marketing. And we would like to, how to say, for our role is more to track their progress to make sure that we pay for them and then they did good work for sushi. So that's like one of the plan, including my proposal that I would like to take over on after I get on board officially again.
Hmm. All right, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I was just curious, like, what was your secret at like getting so much traction with your promoting stuff? Like, I'm like terrible at social media and all that type of stuff, so I'm just curious, like how, like what type of strategies? I think you were talking about way back when, like doing um like posts and like stories on different crypto reporting websites or something like that.
Yeah. So for China, and then we use the WeChat, and we have a sushi WeChat account, which unfortunately I think got banned by WeChat due to some restrictions, because you know that we applied for that account as a person, not a company or entity. So they don't want to see like a person to publish something regarding like commercial like business marketing. So
Oh,
that's
I
the
see.
reason. But yeah, it's a bummer. But I mean, before then, we already published 40 articles. They all worked, so I think they draw enough attention from the community. And before the band, we achieved 2,000 followers. So that's I think since
Yeah, that's like
September when
amazing.
when I first published an article. So I think through those 3 months, and then we keep updating our progress, and then some of the good UI, and also like tutorials about how to use different platforms and all of those. So then draw some attention. And then besides that, I would say Pendulum, who is working on the China community management, and he also does a very good job. And he also managed the Weibo account, which also is parallel to Twitter, so to publish some quick news about sushi. So that we have two official social media in China that we both manage. And then also that we split the work that he talks to the community more, and then I manage the Chinese volunteers. So I would like to say that I really appreciate that the volunteers' great work, and they show passion on this. And then at the beginning of the 2 months, I talk to them almost every day, and then assign the task mostly to they either do translations of the website to Chinese, or read some articles, and then I publish on WeChat. So they did good work, and there are like about eight volunteers who involves and very closely with me. And then, so I think it's as to what I put in the proposal that you mentioned, that I just use those strategies, social media and community management, and then Chinese volunteers management. So I think they work, and then I think that maybe we can consider to use the same strategy in global marketing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's perfect. I mean, yeah, like it's definitely amazing that you got so much success and traction. You really built up the community on the China front, which is great to see.
Totally
Um,
a teamwork. So yeah, I'm the only person who joined the voice, but there are so many people behind this work, the volunteers and Pendulum and whoever, and also like Maggie joined our volunteers meeting. And I mean, everyone, there's a lot of teamwork. I'm just very lucky to speak for them, but I really appreciate everyone's effort on this.
And would you tell us what the social media account names are, how they can find you?
You mean the one which got banned last week?
Well, oh, well,
Uh,
more where people who are interested in volunteering, how they can get a hold of you,
oh yeah.
and just what social media avenues they can find your content at.
Yeah, sure. I think I have the WeChat account, then they can reach out to Sushi Mia, just the sushi as Himiya, and then if they are interested to be volunteer, and then I will talk with them, and then to add them into the volunteer group. So that's one way that they can reach out to me directly. And now, because of the WeChat get banned, and then we're discussing about other platforms, which is more safer for us to publish. We probably will use Medium to publish articles in multiple languages. So that's one option. And second thing is, I know that Joe, the newly onboarded and the CTO, and he mentioned that he's talking with some potential opportunities, and then to have Sushi be registered as a software company. This is still in discussion and not go live, so I cannot speak too much on that. But I mean, then based on that, and then we probably can apply for a company's account on WeChat, which they will be fine with us publishing commercial stuff. So, but I will definitely keep everyone posted when we have a new account or we decided to use some platform. Then I will announce in the press channel on Discord, and then probably also on Twitter. And yeah, so we'll try our best to announce it.
Gotcha. That's really exciting. Orion, you got anything to say?
Well, I
No.
had one curious. Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. No,
Uh,
sorry,
my
go
my,
ahead.
my curiosity was you'd said that Maki needed BD work, and I just didn't know what that stood for, so I was curious about that.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Business development. So,
Ah.
for example, we have on-some projects, right? And then there's a lot of other projects or platforms who want to cooperate with Sushi, and those kind of, yeah, then someone need to talk to them, and then to evaluate if that is a really good opportunity for Sushi. So for all of this.
On that note, in the onsen #2 thing, I saw that ramp. There was someone saying they're representing the coin ramp that wanted to follow up with that. Might be a good lead.
Yeah, for a project like Ramp, do they just post the application on the SIMP forum post itself for the onsen, or do they reach out over Discord?
For this one, I'm not quite sure of the answer. I need to ask my teammate, my colleague, Kino. See, Kino has the answer.
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, I was just asking when a project or community with a coin want to apply to the onsen, where do they send their application? Is that over the forum post itself, or do they reach out over Discord?
As specified on the last was through the forum, but maybe we could clarify that a bit and make a better streamlined way of applying. I'll take that down as a note. That's a good point.
Cool. Yeah, because Orion was just bringing up that the ramp team was posting in the forum thread. I think they were confused on where to send it.
But like I think that would be a great thing to include in the news section on our new UI is like anyone interested in joining on like to have easy access, because sometimes it's so hard to figure out where to find things, especially in a decentralized company like Sushi Swap. Like I'm sure there's a lot of people who might apply for onsen who don't even really know about it, and I'm sure I don't know when we're going to start, how far down the line Miso is, but it seems like it would be good for people to know how to start that process as well.
Miso is coming along in a great manner. I think Gunpachi added some more documentation on the matter, and I think we can be really excited about that project, and we'll publish additional documentation once we're a bit closer to its release.
Awesome.
So while we're talking about Miso, I had a curiosity on, do you know if we're planning to have it be where only you need to hold a certain amount of sushi in order to get in on the Miso, like so many of the other swaps are doing, or if this is going to be more widely accessible?
That was actually a question that was posed, I think, in the last AMA or on the forum, and we talked about it, and that is a very interesting aspect to have such an option inside Miso. I know that Gonpachi at least took up that suggestion and is thinking about its implementation and implications.
Yeah, I'm pretty split on it. Like ideologically, I feel like so many of these swaps are gatekeeping these IDOs, and it kind of magnifies some of the issues that like crypto's trying to like solve, like that IPOs in the real world are limited to only accredited investors or whatever, or only they can get buybacks. And like that's something, some of the stuff that crypto's like saying like we're better, we're going to treat the common person better, but then at the same time it benefits sushi in order, like sushi goes up if people need to hold it to get in on a good offering. So it's a double-edged sword for me.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a black and white system, right? That could be one offering where sushi holders would be able to get access to like a specific portion of the pool, or another project might want to launch to the general public. And I think in the end, something will come out of it, which knows some tones of gray, and hopefully give benefits to like all the opinions. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, trying to make everyone happy. Obviously, mostly our community.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I could see some definitely a middle ground where there's like, and this is just spitballing, but like maybe like some threshold level where if you have X amount of sushi, then you get, access to a percentage of the offering at some slightly lower rate or something like that. Just a random idea, but slightly unrelated to Miso, unless you had any other comments, Orion, or anybody else.
Yeah, my last thing was just that one of the benefits my mind saw for having a sushi requirement is it slightly helps with the bot, like because obviously with launches on Uniswap, bots, front running bots are a huge issue. And if the bots have to hold sushi, that's pretty good for us. But like there's just a pain in the market of bots front running everyone and it making it inaccessible, that requiring sushi like either will benefit the sushi price or will limit the number of bots accessible.
I mean, if you use a normal Dutch auction, I don't think it's possible to front run that.
I might be using the wrong terminology. I just know that like generally with token releases, there's seconds and you have to use like 200 gas to not get there or to not get and have to have like max slippage just because it is so competitive. And if you're battling an algorithm that's set to purchase as soon as it's released, that I just assume that humans would be too slow to match an algorithm.
Yeah, so there are different ways to do such, and one way which definitely would be acceptable to launch as a Dutch auction, which means you start out with a high price, a very high price, higher than what the launches of the token want to achieve. And then the price lowers over time, but everybody gets the price at the end of the auction when the time, like the commitments multiplied by the amount of tokens being given into the auction, the price multiplied by the commitments equals the amount of tokens which are accessible, which makes it not as feasible to just go in at the very beginning if you just want to turn a quick buck.
Cool. Thank you for that. I like still could almost like, I can imagine that no matter how high it is, there's always going to be those like suckers who see who like, oh, the bots are causing the price to raise, and then like FOMO in anyway. But yeah, no, that seems like a very good solution. I like that. Was there anything else on our itinerary to discuss? Turtle?
Yeah, just the Y Cabal proposal. I'm not sure if you've had an opportunity to read it over, Kino, but it's my intuition that you're probably the best person to comment on it, just because I think both me and Orion are a little bit lost on it. Seems like it was written out by some engineer.
I feel, so I read through it, but I feel at this point I'm confident enough to talk about it here. So maybe give me another week, and I'll try to get it some time away from Bento.
Yeah, no worries, man. I know you must be like freaking busy as all get out.
And I guess we can just like mildly introduce it. It is supposed to help with the front running of coins, or the issue of coins being front run, and it's also supposed to achieve free zero cost trading fees by profiting from arbitrage used to pay for users' transactions. But it's quite complex. Small brain person like me.
Yeah, I'll try to see if I could get one of the people involved in posting that to come on and try to give an oral explanation about their proposal. But I think more information is going to come out. I think they're going to be posting more in the next week, so see how that goes. The last thing on my list here is just to tell people to follow at the Sushi Forum on Twitter, and also follow at New Sushi Times for great sushi swap related sort of articles and posts. Thank you to everyone who came out and participated. Mia, and Kino, and Kenny Boss, and Benny Wall. Thank you all for coming out and participating. The next Sushi Swap or Sushi Forum is right now scheduled for the same time next week. I think we'll probably keep that date, and over this next week try to figure out if there's a different time slot that would work for everybody in a better way. But that'd be planned for the week after.